You've learned a lot in life, and your passion is public speaking, whether it's on a stage, online, voiceovers, a podcast, a trainer, and you've been looking for info on how to take it to the next level. This is Speaker Show and Tell. We're a weekly show that features interviews with successful speakers and experts, and you'll get tips, tricks, and strategies to improve your speaking skills and the business of speaking. You'll get actionable advice you can use right now, and you'll get inspiration from pros who've done it. Pros that have gone through the struggles just like you and created massive results. Let's do this. Welcome to Speaker Show and Tell. And now your hosts, Eric Lawholm and Sabrina Gibson.
Lawholm, I want to welcome all of you to our very first show, the Speaker Show and Tell show. And I'm here with my partner, and you are?
Yay! Sabrina Gibson, how are you? I'm so excited to be here, Eric. We have so many fun things to talk about. So,
we've been talking about this podcast for a while, and I'm so excited. Sabrina's so excited. Tell us, Sabrina, what are we talking about today?
Well, we have four really cool things we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about the vision of the podcast and really how does that benefit speakers, professional speakers, because we want to give them the best bang for their buck. And so we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about our backgrounds a little bit and why that's a benefit to everyone listening. Because Eric, I know I'm always amazed when I hear your background. So excited to hear about that. And then we're going to be talking about how you can land free speaking engagements. And then finally, we'll talk about what's on the next episode. That's what we got in store today.
It's going to be hot. We've got 40 years of combined experience. Sabrina and I combined to run over 5,000 speaking engagements. So we're going to be bringing some incredible content. We got our first live person, Robert's on the show. Robert, welcome. Thank you for being our very first person on the show, Robert. And
Robert!
Let's jump into vision. Yeah, we're live on LinkedIn. We're all excited. So let's talk about the show. You came up with the vision of the show. You shared it with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be a part of that. So tell everybody, how did the show get created?
Well, I actually in Orange County, I ran a speakers networking group for, a couple of years. And it just seemed like all the speakers, we just did so great collaborating together. We would share speaking engagements. We'd share how we did things. And we wanted to take it to a bigger audience. And I thought, well, hey, what if we started off with a show? And someone had said, yeah, you should come up with a speaker show. And I thought, ooh, I love show and tell from when I was in school. Did you ever do that, Eric?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Bring your favorite thing to share with the group. So that's really what we're doing. We're going to bring our favorite experts and our favorite people and our favorite cheat sheets and really help speakers get their message out to a bigger audience and do it faster and do it with learning from what people have already done. So that's really exciting. I'm so excited about the show. And boy, just when I thought the show was going to be really awesome, just with the guests that we had, but then you came on, and that is like so incredible because you and I have actually had an opportunity to work together for about 20 some years, more older than my daughter, I think. No, my daughter was just a baby when I met you. So, and she's almost 21. So that's how I can figure out how long we've known each other.
Yeah, well, I remember Sabrina coaching you when you spoke on that Harv Eker stage. And I think if my memory is right, you did $60,000 in revenue from that one speech. Does that ring a bell?
Yep. Oh yeah. And in fact, I was so grateful that we were connected because I thought, who's going to help me create PowerPoint slides? I never had spoken from PowerPoint slides before. So you were phenomenal. Man, did I learn. I learned how to close from the stage from you. It was really awesome.
Yeah. You knocked that one out of the park. So we got the vision. Give everybody the website. And I don't know if you can do that cool graphic at the bottom to show them the website, but this is kind of like the hub place. Okay, beautiful. So www.speakershowandtell.com. The site is live. We're still making some final adjustments to it, but you guys can check that out. You want to share the show with all your speaker friends. So let's get into our background. How did you become a speaker, Sabrina?
I had no intention of becoming a public speaker, and I had written an ebook called The Top 10 Things Every Business Owner Already Knows But Isn't Doing. And a lady got a hold of it, and she ran a networking group, and she said, "Wow, I love your ebook. Can you come speak to my group?" And I love to say yes. So I said, "Sure, I'll come. Absolutely." And then after I got off the phone, I thought, what have I done? That is so dumb. What am I going to talk about? I've never done this before. And proceeded to go into like cold sweats at that point. But I ended up thinking, well, wait, she liked my ebook. I'll just speak on the ebook because I know that information, right? Speak what you know and what you love. And so that's what I did. And I showed up, and I had my suit and my beautiful silk shirt and everything. Well, that silk shirt got wrecked. I was sweating so profusely. I was so nervous. I thought my jaw had locked because I was so nervous when I talked. And I thought for sure that they were going to beat me up because it was so bad. It was such a bad presentation. But really, to my amazement, I didn't get followed into the parking lot, which was wonderful. I did throw the shirt away, but I ended up getting 2 or 3 more speaking engagements from that, landed a few clients, which was really exciting. And I realized at that point, wow, I need to figure this out. And, it was still nerve wracking. I kept speaking, but it was nerve wracking. And then now, I don't know, I just love it. How about you? How'd you get involved in speaking?
I went to a seminar. I took a day off my job at McDonald's. Literally, that's where I used to work. And I saw this speaker.
McDonald's is in the Big M.
The Big M. Yeah, I was used
Golden
to
Arches or whatever.
And I took a day off to go hear this speaker named Lance Long. And he's not famous. Nobody's probably ever heard of him, but he was dynamic. And I said, that's what I want to do with my life. So I made a decision to be a speaker. And I thought, let me go work for a speaker. So I worked for a real estate educator named Dante Perano. I learned all about the speaking business. He actually let me do some speaking for his company. And then I went to work for the big guy, Tony Robbins. And I was employed by Tony for 3 years. And I did appointment setting to book the free speeches, which we're going to talk a little bit about that strategy today. And then I got promoted to be one of his speakers. And I lived on the road for 2 years. And I would give 2 speeches a day, every day, 5 days a week, promoting the Tony Robbins seminars. I did 800 speeches for Tony.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. 40 speeches a week. I did $750,000 in revenue promoting Tony's seminars. So 800 talks over 2 years. And then in 99, that's shortly thereafter you and I met, and I started my current company. So I've owned my own training company, coaching, training, I write books, have home study courses, etc. I'm in my 25th year. And so Sabrina and I are just excited to share our wisdom with you. And we're going to be bringing on all kinds of cool guests. So this is the first show, just kind of getting you up to speed on what we're up to. But we're going to be having some great guests on. And so why don't we?
And that's really what's so exciting. Between you and I, it's funny. You would think because you and I really play in the same circles, and I figured you'd know everyone that I knew, and we have like a small little tiny circle that overlaps, but then we have these big circles that don't overlap. And that's really what was amazing to me, because that means we have all the more people that we get to bring on that are experts, that are just share phenomenal things on how to grow a speaking business. And that's really, I think that's what I am most excited about this show, is just the results that we'll be able to generate, because I know you're results oriented. I'm results oriented. That's why we play really well together. And that's really what the purpose of the show is to make sure we really bring all of our resources together to really benefit our audience.
Absolutely. Let's give them some nuggets today and talk about the free speech model. I call it the Jim Rohn speaker model because that's what Jim Rohn used to do. Tony Robbins promoted the Jim Rohn seminars as well as many others. And then Tony brought that model to his company and I ran it there. And then now I have the model with my company. And you yourself, I think, didn't you do 100 free speeches in your community one year?
I did. I had the intention of speaking more, and I loved it. Right. I got out the nervous Nellies, and I thought, hey, what if I went and just made a list of all the organizations in Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Diego. And I sent out emails and followed up on them. And within a week, I landed something like 60 speaking engagements. Within 2, I landed 80. And then by 3 weeks of following up, I had landed 100 speaking engagements. So
Wow.
I became known in Orange County. In fact, I had a lady come up to me and she said, "This is the 6th time I've heard you speak." And she said, "I still am taking notes." You know,
So
I was
you
like,
gave
"Oh,
the free
it's
speech.
the
You
same
didn't make any
speech."
money with the free speech. So how did you monetize those speeches, Sabrina?
Well, I have this really great buddy called named Eric Lofholm, and I was actually giving away something called a website plan because that's what I was doing at the time. I had a company called Smart and Sticky Websites, and really after that year of doing 100 speaking engagements, a lot of people started calling me the smart and sticky girl, which I really didn't care for, but that's what they kind of knew me as. Anyway, I went to you and you were saying, "Hey, why are you offering this website plan for free? Why don't you charge for it?" And so that's what we did. We would tell them, I would explain to them like they really needed a plan before they started their website development. And so we sold this, package of $500 for their website plan. And we gave them a tremendous value. And I'd be able to sit down with them and share with them exactly what they need to do with their website to make it a marketing tool and give them the quote and obviously work with them. And so it was really cool. Like we developed that whole entire kit because of you. You gave me the idea and we ran with it. And that's really what I was selling. And so, every speaking engagement, I don't think I landed less than $10,000 of between clients and the website plans per speaking engagement. So it was a tremendous.
So give a free speech, generate the leads, make whatever sales, and boom, 10 grand over time would come in off the leads from that one speech.
Minimally. There was a time I actually closed 5 websites, and they were right around the $5,000 to $10,000 range from one speaking engagement. And there was only like 20 people in the audience, which was like, what in the world? So it's pretty exciting. Yeah. How about you? How do you generate? I saw you do a free speaking engagement, and that's how you and I connected, because I was like, this guy knows what I came from sales. And I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. Where was he when I was doing sales? Because I could have really benefited from the suggestions you gave. But how do you make money from the free speaking engagement?
You bring up a great point, because Sabrina and I, we've known each other, it's probably been like 25 years, and it came out of a speech. And because I was speaking on my expertise, Sabrina was drawn to that. Like, wow, Eric really knows what he's talking about. And I talked to a woman in Florida today. I hadn't met her until today. And she heard me on a podcast, which is a type of a free speech. And I did a call to action at the end, and she reached out. And so when I talked to her for the first time, she had already heard me speak. So I call that shaping the listening. She was open to what it is that I had to share. And so I've literally, it's going to sound like I'm exaggerating, guys, but I'm not. I don't need to exaggerate. Millions and millions of dollars have come in from my free speeches. And I've had many months where I've given 20 in a single month. And what I do is I go in and I give the speech, and then I sell an entry-level program. Usually it's what I call my Silver Protege program, which was the initial course that Sabrina bought from me many years ago. And I sell it for $299. So if I go in and I give this free talk and I get it organized with the person bringing me in, they know I'm selling. They're clear. And I follow a formula. And let's say I sell 8. So it's basically $2,400 comes in, boom, snap your finger. But then I got 8 new clients. And then with those clients, if they have a need for high ticket coaching, I can enroll them into coaching, and I can go get referrals. And so it's an incredible model when you know how to do it. And nowadays you can do it on Zoom, front of the room. You can do it on podcast, and it's really, really powerful. So we can go deeper, Sabrina, on that, or I'll turn it back to you for anything you want to share.
Well, I just think it's fun. I mean, I think it's amazing that, people think, well, oh, I'm not going to get paid when I do free speaking engagements. And really the key is, and this is something that we all know, is that you got to know what the end result is. What is that call to action? How are you going to get those people to take that first step? And that's the key with free speaking engagement. So you can do anything like podcast interviews or, front of the room, like you said, or your own events, but you got to know what the end result is and how to lead them into that next step. And sometimes that next step can just be a free consultation, but you taught me, I might as well charge for it because I was giving value. So
let me tell you a crazy
I think
story.
that's key.
You remember, you're familiar with CEO Space, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So CEO Space, they have this very strict, like, you cannot sell from the front of the room. We don't allow it. And so I'm like, okay, no problem. I want to get the leads. So I went to the owner of CEO Space and I'm like, hey, I know I can't sell, right? And he's, yeah, you can't sell. Well, can I give away free sales training? And he's like, yeah, sure. Go ahead, give it away. So I'm in front of the room in front of like 300 people, and they've all invested $5,000 to be there or more. So these are a great crowd for me. And so I told everybody, look, I know we can't sell you anything, but I was told I could give you away some free training. How many of you would like some free training? And of course, everybody's like, yeah, I want free training. So I pulled hundreds of leads from that audience. I was the only speaker that had a call to action to offer something for free to get the leads. That's called a lead magnet. Those leads, Sabrina, this is back in like 2010. They're still in my database. I'm still email marketing to all of them that didn't opt out. So even if you can't sell something, just getting the leads and building your database, I probably did $100,000 in business through the years off that batch of leads when no one else there was doing that particular strategy. So it can be extremely lucrative.
It's so true. I've used the same technique. I don't know if I got it from you. I'm going to give you the credit because I just know that you always give me lots and lots of ideas and then I run with them. And I've done the same exact thing. I mean, I have, because sometimes when you do go do free speaking engagements, the meeting planner or the person who's booking you in, they don't want you to sell the room, and that's okay. There's lots of other ways to do it. And that giving away whatever you wanted to sell as a gift is genius, because now you're presenting what you want to sell, and then you can get people to say, yeah. And I did the same thing. And then I follow up until what you said. You always follow up with every single business card until they buy or they die. And we don't mean like literally die, although sometimes that happens. It's more like they just choose not to want to receive your information anymore. So let's talk about how to get those speaking engagements, because there's podcasts, there's organizations that you can go, on a local level. I mean, on any level, really, you can go speak, because you actually were in Northern California and I saw you speak down in Southern California in Newport Beach when we first met. So how did you land that speaking engagement? Why don't you talk about that? Do you remember?
Are you talking about the Newport Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just identifying who you want to reach out to. And you're going to either telemarket, call them, or you're going to text them if you have their cell phone, or you're going to email them. And nowadays you can do social media. And so if I was reaching out to the Newport Chamber today, I would reach out to them, however, one of those methods, and basically say, I'm Eric Offholm. I talk on sales increasing ideas for entrepreneurs and business owners. Thought I'd be a great guest at one of your chamber meetings. If you're looking for speakers, I'm happy to come out and do a free speech. Let me know your thoughts. And so then they might contact me back and say, let me see your website, or have you spoken to chambers before? Whatever they say. Yes, I have. Okay, great. And then they book me. And then after they book me, I want to get clear with them. Can I sell? Can I sell my entry-level course at the end of my speech? And they're going to say yes or no. If they say no, then I'll say no problem. I'd like to give away some free training for everybody that's there. That's okay, right? And they go, sure. So if they'll let me sell, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to give my talk. I'm going to add the value, and I'm going to put an order form in everybody's hand at the end and ask them to buy my entry-level course. If they won't let me sell, I'm going to put an index card in their hand. I'm going to have them fill out the index card and give me their contact information. And then those leads, they got to go in your database. And a lot of people are like, I want to speak, but they don't have the leads go into the database. So I have the leads go in the database, and I'm a coach, and I was smart enough to put together a course. Okay. A lot of coaches, they sell coaching, which is great, but I have a $299 course. I have a $995 course, and I have a $5,000 course. And then I also have one-on-one coaching. So courses can be great. And then you just prospect let them know about what your topic is, why your topic would be a good fit for their audience. And then you ask them if you can be a guest speaker. And I've literally booked thousands of speeches that way, generated millions of dollars, just running that simple little formula.
I love it. I've done the same exact thing. When I landed the 100 speaking engagements, that's exactly what I did. I made a list of every single organization. I sent an email out, and we'll provide the email template for everybody as a cheat sheet. And Eric, I know you've got little goodies too. We're going to give everyone cheat sheets and goodies. And if you want to go get those, just make sure you go to our website and click get involved, and you can click on be an audience member right now. We'll change that in the future, but for right now, since this is our first show, because as Eric says, our site's being developed. But if you go there, that's where we'll have all the goodies for you, the freebies. But I'll put the script in there for the template, email template, because basically the template email that I sent out is what landed me 60 engagements within, it was like within the first week. And really the first 3 days, I thought there was something was going on because I kept seeing it come back into my email. And I was like, what is going on? And then I realized, oh my gosh, all these people are replying to this. This is awesome. And I put like a sense of urgency into the email. And I just mentioned the fact that, I'd spoken at Microsoft and a lot of the universities, and I had testimonials in there, and just kind of made it exciting for them so that it made it really easy. Because there's nothing worse than and I've hosted events where I've brought speakers in, and I know you have too. There's nothing worse than having a speaker come and just totally flop or bomb or bore the audience. And it's always great to have, to reassure them. In fact, I spoke for, it's blanking my mind right now. But anyway, I spoke for a lady, her name's Martha, and she's like this past CIO for Shackley and Carl Jr., and she's just amazing. She vetted me for 2 years before she allowed me to come speak to her organization. And for free, this was for a free speaking engagement, right? But an awesome, awesome group of women. These women entrepreneurs, talk about a sweet spot. And there were men there too, but mostly women. And it was just probably one of the best speaking engagements. But she really vetted her speakers, because she said nothing was worse than having a speaker come in and just completely alienate
a really
the
great
audience.
point, Sabrina, which is testimonials and endorsements. So you want to get those. I have a testimonial from Jay Abraham, or endorsement rather. I have an endorsement from Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins. Okay. These are gold, guys. How do you get the endorsement? You got to ask. How do you get the testimonial? You go to your clients. They're happy with your work. Can I get a testimonial from you? Okay. That's social proof. Because what Sabrina's saying is so key. The speaker, the promoter, the person in charge of the meeting doesn't want to bring in a speaker that's going to flop. So you give the confidence by this third-party endorsement. You build this into your Speaker One sheet or your email marketing or on your website, so people can see that you're solid, that you've got a great message. And then you got to market and shout from the rooftops. Because how did Sabrina get those 100 gigs? These people didn't just reach out to her. She marketed to them. Okay. And I think a lot of speakers, they have analysis paralysis. Sabrina, did you know that Les Brown sat on his dream to be a speaker for 7 years?
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Les Brown, he had the vision in his heart to go become Les. And then he's like, I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid, or whatever. Right. And he sat on his hands. And that's such a common story. So one of the things we want all of you guys to do is to take action. Get out there. If you have a message in your heart, it's there to be realized. Sabrina had this message for this show, Speaker Show and Tell, the show you're on right now. She's like, I want to do it. And it's here to be realized. So here we are. We're on show 1. We're so excited that you're here.
And really, I'll pull the curtain behind back if it's okay, Eric, because we actually attempted to do this show like just a couple of days ago, and I had major technical issues. Eric was all polished. He showed up. He's ready to go. 20 minutes later, I'm still fussing with my internet to the point where I had to jump on my phone. And then people kept texting me all of a sudden and my internet would cut out. So it was a disaster, honestly. And really, that's where some people can give up, because sometimes it's not perfect coming out of the gate. And boy, I literally, I just had to pick up my husband up from the airport today, and all the way home, all I could do was talk about you, Eric, because I said, he's asked me how the show went, and I said, oh my gosh, it was a complete disaster. It was awful. And he's like, oh no. And I go, but man, I picked the right person, because Eric remained calm. He was so gentle. He was like, it's okay. It's our first show. And really, this goes to speaking. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And it's how you handle it and move forward through it, because we could have both blown up. We could have both you could have done the blame game on me or whatever. And instead we just said, okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's try it again. And the first thing I said to you before we went live was, I said, hey, I don't have internet connections. My camera's working. You can hear me. So sometimes with speaking, you just got to pick yourself up, or throw your silk blouse away and realize, like, the next time it's going to be better, and
I want to speak
and I
to that
did
for just a second, because you're making a really great point for all of you watching this right now. So many speakers, they don't launch, they don't put themselves out there because they're afraid of screwing up. In our first show, guys, it was a train wreck. We just deleted it because it was such a train wreck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We dust ourselves off and we get back on the saddle and we do it again. It was no big deal, even though we had a lot of problems, but it's no big deal, right? So if we're out there, we're the pros, we made a mistake, whatever. Here we are back again. Let us role model for you. Get into action. Forget analysis paralysis. I interrupted you, though. What did you want to say?
Oh, I don't know. I'm loving, I love everything just free flowing here with you. But, I was laughing because, the speaking engagement, you're right. It's like the number 2 fear in the world is public speaking. So, but people have this beautiful message that they should get out there and deliver. They actually owe it to people to deliver their gift to the world, right? And they don't, and it's because they're worried about looking bad or having some kind of mistake. I've had everything happen. I mean, one time, and we'll talk about this on another show, because there's some really funny stories I could tell you. But my pantyhose elastic split, and in the middle of a talk, and I felt it snapped, and I had to walk up these stairs, and every step I took, my pantyhose went down lower and lower until I was walking kind of like a penguin. And I ran behind the table and had to take them off really fast. And the person behind the table was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, my pantyhose just malfunctioned, But it's like, you roll with it. You just kind of go with it. And whatever happens, you just expect the worst. And I don't know. I love to laugh at my mistakes, and I've fallen down on the stage. I've done all kinds of things, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. And as long as you own it, I think the audience will go with you.
I had, I don't know, 100 people in the room, and I think I was selling a $2,000 program. And at lunch, I took my computer to fix up the PowerPoint slides one final time. And I plugged my computer into the projector, but I forgot to plug it into the power. So I'm running on battery and I don't realize it. And I'm in the close, and this is like my money for the whole day right here. And the computer died in the middle of the close.
Oh, no.
And it was just like, what in the world? And so I somehow got to the close and I made a couple sales, but I left it cost me 20 grand because I didn't have the darn thing plugged in. But it happens.
It happened.
Right? It happens. And even though that was a total goof up, I'd rather have a goof up than be sitting on my dream. Right? Because we got live impact. We have a message to deliver. And I've had so many wins. And I've had the bloopers and I've had the scripts like that. But I'm not afraid to screw up. And Sabrina and I, in our first show, it didn't go the way that we wanted to. It's okay. It's no big deal. But if we don't put ourselves out there, then nobody gets impacted. Nobody gets to hear our message. And that's a really, really important message for all of you to hear. If you're sitting on your book, you're like, oh, I'm not ready to publish. No, publish it. If you're sitting on your speech, if you're sitting on your course, oh, I really need to do a course. Get the course done. Get your message out to the world.
One of the biggest lessons I think I've ever learned was Microsoft, right? Microsoft, the reason why, when they get like a Windows update or whatever, is it Microsoft Windows, they'll release the software, and you get a new version, whatever, and then like a couple months later they'll send you an update to it. Well, it's because they are releasing a beta version, but they're making money off of it. And I thought, wow, that's so genius. And we can really apply that in our own business. It's like, release it. It's not going to be perfect. Just release it. And then people are going to say, hey, you got a mistake on page 1, or you got a typo. Okay, great. And then the next version comes out better. But in the meanwhile, you're generating revenue, right? You're generating results. But people are afraid of looking bad or having to be perfect. I am a recovering perfectionist. And I've learned that it's better to generate results than it is to be perfect. And sometimes you can't have both. Sometimes people
really
can, but you can
audience,
take a lot of time to do it.
Be authentic.
Do what now?
If you want to really connect with your audience, be authentic. Like, people love when I tell about my failures, right? I've got teenage kids, and sometimes we're having problems in our household, and it's not the Facebook perfection. Like, you look at my Facebook page and look at Eric and his perfect little family, right? Well, it's not all perfect like that. And so as I share with audiences struggles that I've had, or when I was homeless, or when fill in the blank happened, or when I was afraid, when I got on the Get Motivated stage, I was supposed to speak at a certain event, and I never sent my headshot and the bio. The promoter approved me. He's like, Eric, you're good to go. Send me the headshot and the bio. I didn't send it, Sabrina, because I was afraid. I'm like, I'm not worthy of speaking on the Get Motivated stage, even though I'm a professional speaker. And so people love hearing that we're human. And so if you're like, oh, it's got to be perfect, forget that. They would rather just have you be you. And at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. Okay. We all have our flaws. We all have our hiccups and whatnot. And so you just be real, you get your message out, and you'll have so many wins. God would not put a message in your heart to be realized if it wasn't there to be realized. Like, why we have that calling. We're called. Sabrina was called to launch this show, and then she promoted it to me. Hey, you want to join? Yes, let's do it together. So we're called to do this work, and we got to answer the call and not look perfect all the time, because it's impossible to look perfect.
Yeah. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting to try to be perfect, because none of us, like you said, none of us are. Okay, so I'm really excited. There's so many golden nuggets from this. So really, it's to be clear about your message, be clear about who you want to speak to, go get those organizations, just do it. Like, pull the trigger, go ahead, do it. Get out there, put your name out there, even if you've never spoken before, right? Just put yourself out there and do it, because you can do it in a very short amount of time. You can become very good at speaking if you just practice. And nowadays, like with Zoom and everything, it's so easy to get an audience and practice your message there if you don't feel comfortable getting in front of an audience. But I encourage that. I think I learned more from the live than I did online, because online there's no feedback necessarily. So if you feel like you're kind of entertaining and talking to yourself, like, it was really weird for me.
Yep.
So having a co-host is very wonderful, because now we got little play off of each other. But well, I want to talk about really, so we have all these golden nuggets. We'll pull those. We'll put some freebies in there. If you guys are loving the show, we want to hear from you. We want to know, what is it that you guys would like? What topics would you love to hear? What are things that you'd like to solve in your speaking business that you haven't been able to solve, that you'd love it for us to bring an expert on to interview? Because we are bringing on an awesome expert next week. We're going to be doing this pretty much every Wednesday I say pretty much because next episode will be a little bit off, but from there on, we'll be at every Wednesday, right? At 10 a.m. Pacific time is what we're going to do the show.
Yep.
And we'd love for you guys to be there. But if you have a great thing that you've accomplished in your speaking engagement and you want to be a guest or panelist, we'd love to have you. Again, just go to speakershowandtell.com. If you love the show so far, we want you to share it with people. Use the hashtag speaker show and tell in any of your social media posts. And we'd love for you to invite others. So we're bringing on a really great guest. We're going to be talking about how to land paid speaking engagements. Show me the money. And we're bringing on Jake Ballantyne, and he's generated, goodness, I don't know, millions and millions upon millions of paid speaking engagements. And he's going to share exactly how he did it. And of course, we'll have a cool freebie from that. So we hope everyone shows up next time or our next episode and join us live. And also, you can get the recording also by going to our website too. So that'll be in there where you can sign up for the show. So Eric, tell us what were like what's a couple of things that you feel like we really touched that could really make a difference for people from the show?
Or today's show?
Yeah, today's show.
Yeah. I think one is be imperfect. Action is more important than having your PowerPoint slides all figured out. So get your message out there. And when you do that, you're going to learn. You want to get better at speaking, speak. Right? It's speaker training, but if you really want to get better at speaking, go speak. That's what's going to really move you forward. You learn how to drive a car by getting behind the wheel, right? So there's that. The free speaking model, we talked about that. We talked about the vision of the show. A lot of great things. And please, guys, invite other speakers. Tell your speaker friends, because we're going to bring the guests. We're going to get some big names and some not so big names that are brilliant and really smart with like software or how they're, selling, getting coaching clients or how they're booking speaking engagements and all that good stuff. So let your speaker friends.
And then you had a great idea. We're bringing on guests that we're going to inspire you. And it was funny because Eric said to me, oh man, he's like, I really want to bring this person on because they're just so inspirational. And I thought, Eric, don't people just want to know how to do it? And he said, Sabrina, if they're not motivated, and a lot of people are like dragging their feet, we got to bring people on there. And I thought, oh, wow, that's like genius, of course. So that's what we're bringing. We're bringing people on that'll motivate you, get you pumped up to actually put the ideas into action.
So yes, the
and the how-tos. It's the complete deal.
To use and how do you get better on Zoom, right? How do you look better on Zoom and lighting and voice? How do we use our voice more effectively? And how do you price your packages and all that stuff? So it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna want to hang out with us. We're gonna just continue great shows for you guys.
Yes, I am excited. So really, that's it. I mean, that is our show for today. And we'd love for people to come back and play with us. And if you want to be a panelist, a guest, an audience member, you just want to come out and hang out with us or share questions, please do that. So really, we're
Robert, you have been commenting in the thread. So thank you so much, Robert. I'm always going to remember you. You were here on our first show, and you weren't just here. You engaged with us, Robert. And I want to acknowledge you for being a person of action. And I wish you a wonderful day and a great weekend, Robert.
Hey, Robert, can you reach out to me privately and send me your address? I want to send you a little gift. I got something fun for you.
Awesome.
So,
Sabrina, I got to run.
All right. Well, thanks, Eric. I can't wait till our next show.
Okay. See you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Speaker Show and Tell. Eric and Sabrina have spoken on all types of stages and have easily done over 2,000 speaking engagements. They understand the strategy, the sales, and the marketing of the speaking business. Plus, they have on the pros that have done it, pros that have gone through the same struggles as you and created massive results. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we hope you've gotten something from it. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, find us on social media at Speaker Show and Tell. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you next time on Speaker Show and Tell.